Yashodanandana Jaya Bhajana Ranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Bhajana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrushabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Mahavishnu Goswami Niti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavatir Naishtiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Shri Gurudev ki jai. Word to word synonyms, translations, and purport for Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Now, my phone is freezing. So I think I'm lagging a little. Can you all hear me? Now you can hear me now? Because what happens is that I'm doing in the background a lot of activities of uploading things on Zoom and then YouTube and then Facebook, and then things are happening. So that's why my screen may freeze, may have frozen, etc. So is this okay now? You can hear me? Is this okay? Is it becoming normal now?
Yes, better
Great.
now.
Yeah. Okay, because I stopped. All of the activities are finished now, So by the time you sing, I do all those things in the background. Okay, nice to see all of you. The weather has changed in your part of the world? Weather is changing in our part of the world too. We're getting summer season now. Not yet, a little bit. And I wanted to just let you guys know that we are traveling. We'll be traveling to Australia tomorrow. So Krishna willing, if everything goes well, then we will see you. We will be meeting you online next week from Sydney. So, and hopefully we'll be lagging, not lagging, we'll find out. If the weather is very hot, we may lag there, we'll never know. Okay. All right. So I know it's a long ask because we had Srila Gurudev's homages program last week. But we were studying, what were we studying before that? Do you remember? Anybody, please?
Bhagavad Gita introduction.
Bhagavad introduction. And you were reading Bhagavad introduction. Right. Is your health all right now? You're back in action?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Fine.
How's Hyderabad suiting you? Is it all right with you?
Yes, Prabhu. Adjusting.
Fantastic. Right. That's good. I'm told it's not very hot, or the heat is different there.
Yeah, the weather
it is quite
yeah.
It is quite hot actually, but it's not, you don't get perspiration and all that there. You know? I was told this way. I don't know.
Yes, Prabhu. That's true.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, wonderful. Now I will try and connect this where we left last time, okay? Bhagavad Gita introduction. No. Okay, hold on. I'll have to give the link there, right? Hold on. Now my screen is frozen. Now my screen is okay now. All right, I'll share the screen. Okay. Right, and we have completed quite a bit. So do you know, any one of you know where we are at? I can't see you now, but I can hear you. Say yes or no. Because I know. If I know, anybody can know. Do you guys know? So yes or no? Do you want me to ask you personally by names?
Yes, we can see.
You can see. But do you know where we were at?
No.
Right. What about you, Mr. Parth? The reader?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, I'm just opening Bhagavad Gita on my system as well. So because I can just remember from there. Let me start.
No, but do you know where we were at last time?
Where we stopped, you mean, right?
Yeah.
No, Prabhu, I don't remember.
Yes. What about you, Shrishti Mataji?
No, Prabhuji.
How is it that if you go to work, if you go to study in your college or school, you are expected to remember things, right? But when you come to this Bhagavad Gita classes online or spiritual things, we, the tutor, have to remember. You don't have to remember. God. Tutoring. All right, here we are. Antakale chamam eva smaranmakva kalevaram. Yaha prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshaya. We completed this. We were here from the process of quitting this body. But I want us to read from one paragraph before here. Anyone who quits the body, can you see this, Parth Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, can you please read from here? Thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Anyone, so Prabhu, just like last time, right?
Just
read.
start going. We have to cover quite a bit of things. You keep
Okay.
reading. I'll stop and I'll answer or clarify a few points, right? Wonderful.
Anyone who quits his body at the end of life, remembering me, attains immediately to my nature. And there is no doubt of this. Bhagavad Gita 8.5. One who thinks of Krishna at the time of his death goes to Krishna. One must remember the form of Krishna. If he quits his body thinking of this form, he approaches the spiritual kingdom. Mad Bhavam refers to the supreme nature of the supreme being. The supreme being is Satchid Ananda Vigraha, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. Our present body is not Satchidanand. It is Asat, not Sat. It is not eternal. It is perishable. It is not Chit, full of knowledge, but it is full of ignorance. We have no knowledge of the spiritual kingdom, nor do we even have perfect knowledge of this material world.
Okay, at
Where
any point in time, if anyone has any questions to ask or want to clarify, please stop and ask a question because we've got quite a bit to cover. So probably my intention is to read through and then we can have a discussion. But I'm very keen to hear from you and your questions, especially if you don't understand something, then ask there and there. Okay? Please feel free to do so. Thank you very much. Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhu, please continue.
Parth, you are in mute.
You are in mute.
You have to start again all over.
Still on mute, Prabhu.
Prabhu, mute. Parth, Prabhu, you are mute.
Oh, I'm on mute. Sorry. Yeah.
We wish we can have mute button in our real life also, not just online. We can mute everybody as you want to know. Right, please start again.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. The body, the body is also Nirananda. Instead of being full of bliss, it is full of misery. All of the miseries we experience in the material world arise from where is it? All the miseries arise.
All the miseries we experience in the material world arise from the body.
Is there, Prabhu, some you can highlight? Because due to the scrolling, it just, yeah, exactly. All of the miseries we experience in the material world arise from the body, but one who leaves this body thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead at once attains a Satchidananda body, as is promised in this 5th verse of the 8th chapter, where Lord Krishna says, he attains my nature. The process of quitting this body and getting another body in the material world is also organized. A man dies after it has been decided what form of body he will have in the next life. Higher authorities, not the living entity himself, make this decision. According to our activities in this life, we either rise or sink. This life is a preparation for the next life. If we can prepare, therefore, in this life to get promotion to the kingdom of God, then surely after quitting this material body, we will attain a spiritual body just like the Lord. As explained before, there are different kinds of transcendentalists: the Paramatma Vadi, and the devotee. And as mentioned, in the Brahma Jyoti, spiritual sky, there are innumerable spiritual planets. The number of these planets is far, far greater than all of the planets of this material world. This material world has been approximated as only 1/4 of the creation. In this material segment, there are millions and billions of universes with trillions of planets and suns, stars, and moons. But this whole material creation is only a fragment of the total creation. Most of the creation is in the spiritual sky. One who desires to merge into the existence of the Supreme Brahman is at once transferred to the Brahma Jyoti of the Supreme Lord and thus attains the spiritual sky. The devotee who wants to enjoy the association of the Lord enters into the Vaikuntha planets, which are innumerable, and the Supreme Lord, by his plenary expansions as Narayan with 4 hands and with different names like Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Govinda, etc., associates with him there. Therefore, at the end of life, the transcendentalists either think of the Brahma Jyoti, the Paramatma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. In all cases, they enter into the spiritual sky. But only the devotee, or he who is in personal touch with the Supreme Lord, enters into the Vaikuntha planet. The Lord further adds that of this there is no
So,
doubt.
apart from devotees, those who are Brahmavadis, who accept Brahman as a supreme, they enter the Brahma Jyoti. That's where they enter. Nothingness. And those, when there is nothingness, there is only eternity there. The spirit soul exists there. Then there are those who are as Prabhupada says, those who are Paramatma-vadis. So they are into the Paramatma realization. So they have got partial understanding of the personality of Godhead as a person. So they would also go into Brahmajyoti and into Vaikuntha planets also. And then there are those who are devotees. Devotees go exclusively in the Vaikuntha planets, where they can associate with Krishna. So Prabhupada says, in the 400 forms of Krishna, where he accepts the services as Narayan in different forms of, as Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Govinda. So in these unlimited different forms, he reciprocates with his devotees. But 400 forms. And there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets. Right? Much bigger. 75% of the creation is spiritual. 25% of the creation is material. All right? Please continue. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Therefore, at the end of life, the transcendentalists either think of the Brahma Jyoti, the Paramatma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. In all cases, they enter into the spiritual sky, but only the devotee, or he who is in personal touch with the Supreme Lord, enters into the Vaikuntha planet. The Lord further adds that of this there is no doubt. This must be believed firmly. We should not reject that which does not tally with our imagination. Our attitude should be that of Arjuna. I believe everything that you have said. Therefore, when the Lord says that at the time of death, whoever thinks of him as Brahman or Paramatma or as the personality of Godhead certainly enters into the spiritual sky. There is no doubt about it. There is no question of disbelieving it. The information on how to think of the Supreme Being at the time of death is also given in the Gita. Yam yam vapi smaranam bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitah.
Very good. Very good.
In whatever condition one quits his present body, in his next life he will attain to that state of being without fail. Bhagavad Gita 8.6.
So this is very important. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajati ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sadatad bhava bhavitah. So this is very, very important. At the time of death, whatever is our consciousness, that body will get. Okay? And sometimes death can be very sudden. What are you thinking? Some people say it's very good to die suddenly. Many of them say it, it's good to die suddenly. So what were you thinking? Money? What were you thinking? Sex? What were you thinking? Food? What food are you thinking? You may say, I like, some, for example, eggplant, bangan, very nice. Maybe, man, you'll become a worm in the eggplant sabji next time. So we have to be very careful. We are in a very dangerous, precarious condition. But that is the reason why the bhakti that we perform every day throughout our lives, that is accounted for. So, and Krishna will support us. Yes, that is very important. And that's why we have to die in Kashi. People say, there's a reason for it. Now, if you can remind me, I will give a small narration about this at the end of this particular introduction finish, about Kashi. All right? Please continue. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I had a question.
Yes.
Prabhu, sometimes it may happen that when you experience near death, your mind is frozen. You cannot think of anything. It's just maybe when you're going into an accident or something, but you get saved, that is different thing. But when you're heading into it, your mind might get frozen. You're thinking of nothing. So what happens at that time, Prabhu?
See, at the time of death, what happens, we don't know, If you knew, we would not have taken the birth again. So that is the reason why throughout our life, we have to act very, very perfectly. We somehow or other do not appreciate the value of human being, human body that we have got, and how important it is that we utilize this human birth in the purpose for which it has been given to us. Like lower than human births, worms, animals, birds, insects, they just kill, they don't think. So that's why there is a natural progression of 8.4 million species of life from zero to up. And in each of these species, there are unlimited births, parallel births, which we take. See? So if we are not particular about this in our human form of life, again, we have to start from where we were, for lower species. It is said that cow birth is just before human birth in animal species. That's why the importance of cow, mother cow. So if we are not for some reason, then all our past activities of Krishna will be considered by Krishna. It's not that he's not some impersonal person who says, you do not do this, you are out of here now, that's it. No, he wants you to come back. He wants all of us to go back to him. So that is the reason why people say, Kashi, you die. You guys go to Kashi and you die, correct? Why is it so? Kashi is a place for Lord Vishwanath, Lord Shiva. And people go to Kashi to die for only one reason. Because Lord Shiva personally comes and whispers the name of Krishna in your ear. See? But for that, we should be alert for the hearing. That is why they said, Kashi, to die there. Okay? So our past actions are very important, not just the last action. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu. That's fine.
Please continue.
Thank you. Yep. Material nature is a display of one of the energies of the Supreme Lord. In the Vishnu Puran, the total energies of the Supreme Lord as Vishnu Shakti, Para, Prokta, etc. are delineated. The Supreme Lord has diverse and innumerable energies which are beyond our conception. However, great learned sages or liberated souls have studied these energies and have analyzed them into three parts. All of the energies are of Vishnu Shakti. That is to say, they are different potencies of Lord Vishnu. That energy is Para, transcendental. Living entities also belong to the superior energy, as has already been explained. The other energies or material energies are in the mode of ignorance. At the time of death, we can either remain in the inferior energy of this material world or we can transfer to the energy of the spiritual world. In life, we are accustomed to thinking either of the material or the spiritual energy. There are so many literatures which fill our thoughts with the material energy, newspapers, novels, etc. Our thinking, which is now absorbed in these literatures, must be transferred to the Vedic literatures. The great sages, therefore, have written so many Vedic literatures, such as the Puranas, etc. The Puranas are not imaginative, they are historical records. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is the following verse. माया मुग्ध जीवेर नाही स्वतः कृष्ण ज्ञान जीवेर कृपाया कैला कृष्ण वेद पुराण. The forgetful living entities read the Madhya 20.122. The forgetful living entities or conditioned souls have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord and they are engrossed in thinking of material activities. Just to transfer their thinking power to the spiritual sky, Krishna has given a great number of Vedic literatures. First, he divided the Vedas into 4. Then he explained them in the Puranas. And for less capable people, he wrote the Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata, there is given the Bhagavad Gita. Then all Vedic literature is summarized in the Vedanta Sutra. And for future guidance, he gave a natural commentation on the Vedanta Sutra called Srimad Bhagavatam. We must always engage our minds in reading these Vedic literatures, just as materialists engage their minds in reading newspapers, magazines, and so many materialistic literatures. We must transfer our reading to these literatures which are given to us by Vyasadeva. In that way, it will be possible for us. It will be possible for us to remember the Supreme Lord at the time of death. That is the only way suggested by the Lord, and He guarantees the result. There is no doubt. Bhagavad Gita 8.7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhya cha mayyarpita mano buddhir mame vaishyasi asamshayah. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me, and at the same time, you should continue your prescribed duty and fight. With your mind and activities always fixed on me and everything engaged in me, you will attain to me without any doubt. He does not advise Arjuna to simply remember him and give up his occupation. No, the Lord never suggests anything impractical. In this material world, in order to maintain the body, one has to work. Human society is divided according to work into 4 divisions of social order: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. The Brahmana class or intelligent class is working in one way, the Kshatriya or administrative class is working in another way, and the mercantile class and laborers are all tending to their specific duties. In the human society, whether one is a laborer, merchant, warrior, administrator, or farmer, or even if one belongs to the highest class and is a literary man, a scientist, or a theologian, he has to work in order to maintain his existence. The Lord therefore tells Arjuna that he need not give up his occupation, but while he is engaged in his occupation, he should remember Krishna. If he does not practice remembering Krishna while he is struggling for existence, then it will not be possible for him to remember Krishna at the time of death. Lord Chaitanya also advises this. He
Okay,
says
one second. I want you to read this again, okay?
Yeah.
The Lord therefore advises this.
The Lord therefore tells Arjuna that he need not give up his occupation, but while he is engaged in his occupation, he should remember Krishna. If he does not practice remembering Krishna while he is struggling for existence, then it will not be possible for him to remember Krishna at the time of death.
That's it. Because in material world, there are so many problems. In the problems, we remember so many people. Especially we remember our mother, you know, oh ma, this, that, you know. Mother is first. How do you remember our papa? Right? But nowadays, because we follow the Western culture, we use other words, you know. We have lost our innocence, you know. Or everybody used to say, oh ma, you know. But no, nowadays we use some all completely obnoxious words. Just imagine where we have fallen. So if we have an accident, who are you going to remember? They're obnoxious words. And it'll become that in the next birth. And so that's the reason why in the material world, when you're facing problem, remember Krishna. Take Krishna's name. Oh Krishna. Krishna knows. Krishna will help. Krishna is in control. Thank you, Krishna. Sorry, Krishna. As Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev says, happy moments, remember Krishna. Sad moments, remember Krishna. Every moment, remember Krishna. You know, thank Krishna in happy moments. Sad moments, remember Krishna. You know, this is very, very important. It may be very simplistic, but it's very, very important. Try doing this. Try doing this. Try applying a brake when you're driving a car. See what word comes out. That's what you will get next verse. All right, let's continue, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah. The Lord therefore tells Arjuna that he need not give up his occupation, but while he is engaged in his occupation, he should remember Krishna. If he does not practice remembering Krishna while he is struggling for existence, then it will not be possible for him to remember Krishna at the time of death. Lord Chaitanya also advises this. He says that one should practice remembering the Lord by chanting the names of the Lord always. The names of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. So Lord Krishna's instruction to Arjuna to remember me and Lord Chaitanya's injunction to always chant the names of Lord Krishna are the same instruction. There is no difference. Because Krishna and Krishna's name are non-different. In the absolute status, there is no difference between reference and referent. Therefore, we have to practice remembering the Lord always. 24 hours a day, by chanting his names and molding our life's activities in such a way that we can remember him always. How is this possible? The Acharyas give the following example. If a married woman is attached to another man, or if a man has an attachment for a woman other than his wife, then the attachment is to be considered very strong. One with such an attachment is always thinking of the loved one. The wife who is thinking of her lover is always thinking of meeting him, even while she's carrying out her household chores. In fact, she carries out her household work even more carefully so her husband will not suspect her attachment. Similarly, we should always remember the supreme lover, Sri Krishna, and at the same time perform our material duties very nicely. A strong sense of love is required here. If we have a strong sense of love for the Supreme Lord, then we can discharge our duty and at the same time remember him. But we have to develop that sense of love. Arjuna, for instance, was always thinking of Krishna. He was the constant companion of Krishna, and at the same time he was a warrior. Krishna did not advise him to give up fighting and go to the forest to meditate. When Lord Krishna delineates the yoga system to Arjuna, Arjuna says that the practice of this system is not possible for him. Arjuna uvacha yoyam yogastvaya proktaha samayena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthitim stiram.
Very good. Now do this. Now vibrate a little. You're singing very nicely. Now vibrate a little. No? Yo ayam yogastavya tavya proktaha samyena madhusudanaha etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthitim Srimad. Okay, just extend the first line and the third line. Usually you can extend that. Once you vibrate it, that is Krishna. Mahavishnu Goswami always would say this. Please continue. Arjuna said.
Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. Bhagavad Gita 6.33.
See, even he is asking, he's challenging Krishna on behalf of all of us. It's not possible for us to do, man. What are you saying? He said this 5,000 years ago, right? So we are not the only ones who are very smart and modern. He was also. Yes.
But the Lord says, Yogi namapi sarvesham
Sarvesham.
Yogi namapi sarvesham Madgatenantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam Samayuktatma momataha.
Very good.
Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. Bhagavad Gita 6.47.
So again, read the translation again, please.
Of all yogis.
So even Bhakti yogis, okay? All yogis mean including Bhakti yogis. Yeah.
Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. Bhagavad Gita 6.47. So one who thinks of the Supreme Lord always is the greatest yogi, the supermost jnani, and the greatest devotee at the same time. The Lord further tells Arjuna that as a Kshatriya, he cannot give up his fighting. But if Arjuna fights remembering Krishna, then he will be able to remember him at the time of death. But one must be completely surrendered in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. We work not with our body, but actually with our mind and intelligence. So if the intelligence and the mind are always engaged in the thought of the Supreme Lord, then naturally the senses are also engaged in his service. Superficially, at least, the activities of the senses remain the same, but the consciousness is changed. The Bhagavad Gita teaches one how to absorb the mind and intelligence in the thought of the Lord. Such absorption will enable one to transfer himself to the kingdom of the Lord. If the mind is engaged in Krishna's service, then the senses are automatically engaged in his service. This is the art, and this is also the secret of Bhagavad Gita. Total absorption in the thought of Sri Krishna.
How beautiful. Just a consciousness, Our work does not change. Just change the consciousness. That's it. That's it, into Krishna consciousness. We do our work the same, family is the same, car is the same, everything is the same, just we have changed. Our thought has changed. So we are actually in the business of changing people's thoughts. That's it, the way they think. And it is said that you can change people, even demons, people who are terrorists, by changing the thought. Thought is very powerful. How it is articulated is also very, very powerful. How you convey your thought. So communication is very important. You see? So we are in the business of thought. As Maharishi Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev would say that when somebody is stealing a bank, robbing a bank, so people are interested in him, putting him in the bar, behind bars, jail. Maharaj said, we are interested in thinking what made him do this and change the thought. So nowadays, a lot of people are thinking in this way as well. But our thing is, it starts from the childhood, this Krishna consciousness, very young age. Then it becomes very easy. Older age is a bit hard. So all the youngsters are there. They're very lucky, very fortunate. And we hope and pray that you take advantage of this and you can be very nicely Krishna conscious, Yes, please continue. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Suchi Mata has raised some hand.
Yes, you have to speak. I can't see you because it is the screen is only. Yeah, if I remove this, then again I have to come back to this. So that's why I've not shown my face. Yes, please, if you can speak, it will be better. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please.
Hare Bol.
I have a question, Prabhuji, that even though it is said that you should dedicate all your efforts or all the things to Krishna, it's not something that you you abstain yourself from your all material activity, and it's just an attachment of your material activity towards Krishna. But even though if I am doing anything, for example, studying to earning money, eventually the first thought is, okay, I will deliver it to Krishna or surrender all my activities to Krishna. But as the time passes, it never ends up being like that. So then how, or it actually seems a little mechanical for me right now. So how it is to be done?
Okay, mechanical. It becomes mechanical. It is not, because you're just starting now. You need good association. Yeah. When we have attachment to Krishna, meaning when you cook for Krishna as a lady. Do you cook for Krishna every day?
Not every day, sometimes.
When you cook, how do you feel?
I feel nice. I feel very nice.
So it's not mechanical then?
No, it's not.
Then cook every day. It's simple. It's not complicated, is it?
No.
Yes. You're doing service to Krishna. As we progress, then we'll realize when we're studying, there is also service to Krishna. We don't understand this. So many years ago, when Maharaj we lived in London Temple, Iskcon Temple. So Maharaj went to live there at a very advanced age, 60 plus, And because Maharaj had seen the whole Varnashram, when children had grown up, everybody settled, then he left. He said, Maharaj said that my legs were also swollen, my hands. So I even took one thali, to worship, to Krishna for the arti. He said, ultimately it fell down from my hands. So the temple president told Maharaj, you are useless. Maharaj said, yes, I'm useless. After some days, Maharaj came back to him and said, listen, I'm useless with everything because I'm old, but I'm very good at one thing. So if I study Bhagavatam here every day, then that service I can do. So that person who was non-Indian, he did not understand the value of what Maharaj was saying at the time. Because Maharaj was not sannyasi then. this ordinary devotee. He said, I did not even realize that studying Bhagavatam is devotional service. You see? So, whenever you feel stagnant, because the heart is not there, because more, as you say, it's very good you said this. A lot of people experience this. So that's the reason why I would say, what do you like to do? So I like to cook. How do you feel it? Very good. Why don't you do it every day? Great stuff. Talk to my wife. She will tell you every day. And there's no argument, Haribol, are you there? I thought you left.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm there.
Okay. So yeah, that's very important. And we will also start our Vaishnavi Sangha program soon, after a certain level, of course. But all this will be cleared as well from Mataji's point of view. But is it okay what I explained to you? Is it all right?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Do it. Every day do it, and you will love it. And there are different stages of that also. You should do it in a particular way. How wash your hands, or do this, think. We cannot. My wife doesn't even breathe. She doesn't even smell what she's cooking. And that is also a prad. So you may think, oh, it's so nice, I'm cooking for Krishna. That means you can't taste, I understand, I can't taste, but I can smell at least. Then that is not done. The person who's offering to Krishna should also not smell. That's how we cover the bhoga, even at home. But then when it's done, because we are only personally here, but it's done separately, and let Krishna have it nicely. So it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Performing arti for Krishna, worshipping, cooking for Krishna, and offering is very hectic, very, very, very intense. Because you have to be cooking in a particular time, offering, you can't eat then, and after offering is done, you take back and then put it back into the suchi vessels, as your name suggests, and then wash the vessels. And then once it is done, from Krishna's vessels, wash Krishna's vessels also, then transfer the whole thing into eating vessels separately. It should not touch. Nothing should touch. After you clean what has been cooked vessels, all done, packed and sealed, then you can reheat and have prasadam. Time to go out to the office. Try doing it. You will love it. You will have no time to think. Right?
Yes.
Your father will be so happy, and mother will be so happy. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Yes,
you,
is it-
Prabhu.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Yeah, yes.
So please, anyone has, as I said, I'm not removing this shared screen because if I use it in some other instrument, I can start from this point. Otherwise, I have to stop the screen, start it, and I have to scroll back to this particular point. It's a long discussion, no? So I will have to find this place. It's a bit hard for us to locate this particular sentences and paragraphs. Yeah, that's why. So please speak. I cannot see you. So if you can speak to me, that will be wonderful. Hare Krishna. Anyone else wants to say anything before we continue the reading? Okay, Prabhu, can you please continue? Thank you.
Yeah. We work not with our body, actually, but with our mind and intelligence. So, if the intelligence and the mind are always engaged in the thought of the Supreme Lord, then naturally the senses are also engaged in His service. Superficially, at least, the activities of the senses remain the same, but the consciousness is changed. The Bhagavad Gita teaches one how to absorb the mind and intelligence in the thought of the Lord. Such absorption will enable one to transfer himself to the kingdom of the Lord. If the mind is engaged in Krishna's service, then the senses are automatically engaged in His service. This is the art, and this is also the secret of Bhagavad Gita, total absorption in the thought of Sri Krishna. Modern man has struggled very hard to reach the moon, but he has not tried very hard to elevate himself spiritually. If one has 50 years of life ahead of him, he should engage that brief time in cultivating this practice of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This practice is the devotional process of Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. These 9 processes of which the easiest is Shravana, hearing Bhagavad Gita from the realized person, will turn one to the thought of the Supreme Being. This will lead to Nischala, remembering the Supreme Lord, and will enable one, upon leaving the body, to attain a spiritual body which is just fit for the association with the Supreme Lord. The Lord further says, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa Nanya Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Parthanu Chintayam.
Very nice. Now see, I'll teach you something more because you're doing very nicely here. See, this particular verse is Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena. That is fine. You can extend this, the first line, yeah? Chetasa Nanya Gamina. So Gamina is a short. If you read the Sanskrit or Devanagari, there will be just Namina. There is no dot above it. Now see, Paramam Purusham Divyam. So there's a dot over M. So extend the M, becomes Yati Partha Nuchintayan. So the Na has to be a cut Na. Let me just see if it's there. Okay, just bear with me. I'm trying to do something different here. Okay. See here, in the Sanskrit here.
Yes, Prabhu.
So the Na has been, there's a small cut under the N here. You see
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Chintayan. So if you are expert in Hindi, Marathi, which you learn, so it is a half Na. Chintayan. Yeah. The same way here, the first line, Abhyasena, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena, Chetasa Nagma Gamina, Paramam Purusham Divyam. So there's a dot above the yam, so extend it. Yeah, Tipartha Nuchintayan. So always the second and the third is slightly smaller in the pronunciation, but the first is first and the third are extending. Sorry, now something is gone. I can't go back. Just hold on, please.
Do you want me to share, Prabhu? I can share.
Just one minute. That's all right. To go back. Well, no choice now. To start again everywhere now. Hold on, let me search it out. Here we go. We should be not far away now. Here it is. Okay, we are here now.
Yeah.
So now we saw how that na at the end
Was a short one.
has got half na. So this is a half one, So it is very fortunate for people who, Indians especially, who know the Devanagari script. They can pronounce very nicely, Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. Okay. All right. Please continue. By practicing it, this
By
remembering.
practicing this remembering, without being deviated, thinking ever of the Supreme Godhead, one is sure to achieve the planet of the Divine, the Supreme Personality. O son of Kunti, Bhagavad Gita 8.8. This is not a very difficult process. However, one must learn it from an experienced person, from one who is already in the practice. The mind is always flying to this and that, but one must always practice concentrating the mind on the form of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna or on the sound of his name. The mind is naturally restless, going hither and thither, but it can rest in the sound vibration of Krishna. One must thus meditate on Paramam Purusham, the Supreme person, and thus attain him. The ways and the means for ultimate realization, ultimate attainment are stated in the Bhagavad Gita, and the doors of this knowledge are open for everyone. No one is barred out. All classes of men can approach the Lord by thinking of him, for hearing and thinking of him is possible for everyone. The Lord further says, Mami Partha Vyapastriya Ye api syu papayonaha Striyo Vaisyastatha Shudras Te api yanti param gatim Kim punar brahmanaha punya Bhaktarajarshaya tatha Anityam asukham lokam Imam prapya bhajasvamam. O son of Pritha, anyone who will take shelter in me, whether a woman or a merchant or one born in a low family, can yet approach the supreme destination. How much greater then are the Brahmanas, the righteous, the devotees, and saintly kings? In this miserable world, these are fixed in devotional service to the Lord. Bhagavad Gita 9.32 to 9.33. Human beings, even in the lower statuses of life, a merchant, a woman, or a laborer, can attain the supreme. One does not need highly developed intelligence. The point is that anyone who accepts the principle of Bhakti Yoga and accepts the Supreme Lord as the summum bonum of life, as the highest target, the ultimate goal, can approach the Lord in the spiritual sky. If one adopts the principles enunciated in Bhagavad Gita, he can make his life perfect and make a perfect solution to all the problems of his life which arise out of the transient nature of material existence. This is the sum and substance of the entire Bhagavad Gita. In conclusion, Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. It is capable of saving one from all fear. Neha bhikram nasho asti prati avyayo na vidayate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. In this
Neha
endeavor,
vikramanaşo asti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Yeah, very nice. Nice. It'll come. Please continue.
in this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Bhagavad Gita 2.40. If one reads Bhagavad Gita sincerely and seriously, then all of the reactions of his past misdeeds will not react upon him. In the last portion of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna proclaims, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshasyami ma shuchah. Give up all varieties of religiousness and just surrender unto me. And in return, I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Therefore, you have nothing to fear. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Thus the Lord takes all responsibility for one who surrenders unto him, and he indemnifies all the reactions of sin. One cleanses himself daily by taking a bath in water, but one who takes his bath only once in the sacred Ganges water of the Bhagavad Gita cleanses away all the dirt of material life. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, mankind is so absorbed with mundane activities that it is not possible to read all of the Vedic literatures. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures and because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said that one who drinks the water of the Ganges certainly gets salvation. But what to speak of one who drinks the waters of Bhagavad Gita? Gita is the very nectar of Mahabharata, spoken by Vishnu himself, for Lord Krishna is the original Vishnu. It is nectar emanating from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Ganges is said to be emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord. Of course, there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of the Supreme Lord, but in our position, we can appreciate that Bhagavad Gita is even more important than the Ganges.
Haribo, beautiful.
The Bhagavad Gita is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna, who is a cowherd boy, is milking this cow. The milk is the essence of the Vedas, and Arjuna is just like a calf. The wise men, the great sages, and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. In this present day, man is very eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. So let there be one common scripture for the whole world, Bhagavad Gita. And let there be one God only for the whole world, Sri Krishna, and one mantra only, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Haribo, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Very nice, very powerful, is it not so? Thank you very much, Pastor. Yes, so I think we are about time. I'll just tell you about this. I said, for the Kashi. So once what happened, there was a very rich man. Whole life he spent making a lot of money, and very famous, became very famous, very big industrialist, very well-known industrialist. And as he was, children also had grown up, they were also overseas doing things and all that. And one day his doctor called him and said, "You're dying. You got cancer. This is the last degree now." So he became very sad and astonished. He said, "How long do I have? What do you think, doctor?" He said, "I'm not God, but you got very less time, maybe a couple of months." He said, "Oh my God, I can't even summon my children." He thought, that is this 2 months, let me do what I want to do. So he gave up his marriage will, gave everything to children, said, "I'm gone now. Don't look for me. Don't ever come to me. It's done." He wore his chappals, took his bag, it's not his office bag, but simple bag. He wore his normal dress of kurta, and he says, "I'm gone." He walks out of the house, takes a train, goes to Kashi. Now, while sitting in the Kashi train, there was a businessman from Gujarat. In Gujarat, they are very food hungry. We are always very for food, eating this, eating that. So he's telling this guy, he says, "Well, what happened to you?" He said, No, I'm okay. So let's have something. I've got some thepla in my bag, very good. Long trip. So my wife has cooked something. He said, "No, I can't eat. Thank you." So why can't you eat? It's simple thepla, man. It's very good, vegetarian. He said, No. I've got ulcer in my stomach, in my this thing, tongue and all that. Because last level of cancer is very difficult, very morose. And this guy was yapping away. And after that, he had some, bhelpuri. The guy came, "Come, have bhelpuri." He said, "You will have?" He said, No, I can't have. Oh, you have ulcer. Don't worry, I'll have. And he had tea, so I can't have tea also. So all throughout, then Surat came, So this Gujarati guy told him, "Okay, all the best to you. You're going to Varanasi. But remember one thing, that he said in Gujarati, we have a saying in Gujarat. It's a very famous saying. He says, Surat nu jaman na Kashi nu maran. That means if you want to eat food, you must eat in Surat. And if you want to die, you go to Kashi. So remember this. A restaurant just above, opposite this railway station, there's a restaurant. Some Sasuma or something like that. You give a name also. The name is there, Sasuma. Eat there, and before you won't get moksha also. So this guy is dying, and he heard something, and he said, "Forget about it." The Gujarati guy went away. This guy came to Varanasi. So now what to do? He's just coming out very slowly with stick, and he looked here, there, and one. It's a very famous place. People come to Varanasi to die, basically. That's why when the famous Shahnai Vadak, Ustad Bismillah Khan, when he was asked to come, you must come and stay in USA. Why are you staying in Varanasi, Banaras? At the time, it was very repeated. He said, No. I will not leave Varanasi. Ustad Bismillah Khan said, will I find Ma Ganga in USA? I cannot leave Ma Ganga's touch. Thank you very much. So this guy is entering this Varanasi, enter the Varanasi, you know what to do. And one auto rickshaw, the cycle rickshaw, with his cycle rickshaw. The guy came, looked at him. He says, you're going to die. You come here to die. I think you've got 2 months only. He said that. So he says, yeah, how do you know? He said, I know, I'm doing it every day. People come here to die only. Sit down. Where do you want to go? He said, I don't know. Put me to some place. He said, I'll tell you, I know a good place, to take you. So this guy is a Muslim guy, in auto rickshaw. He said, don't worry. He takes him to one of the Mokshadam place where people stay there for a long time to die, finish the body. And he says, I'll come to meet you, and find out if you need anything more, take you around and all that. So he comes and he says, how much the place to stay? He said, 10 rupees a day. So 300 rupees for a month, A simple little small room, He said, I'll give you 3,000, He said, mister, this is not a dharamshala. People come here to die. There's a long list. We're required to vacate this room after 1 month. Others will also come after you to die, Whew, this guy was, and it is a fact. Anyone been to Varanasi? Anyone has gone to Varanasi? You'll know this. It's a fact. This guy was far out. It's too much for him. As he did so, then he comes and he starts to stay in that room. He's a very, very rich person. He had to clean up his room himself. He doesn't have a proper bed also. There's a wooden plank put up. He puts a chadar there and sleeps. That night he's so tired, exhausted. He can't sleep because of the colon cancer he has. He can't eat properly. People are crying on the side, and then he sees somebody waiting. When he wakes up in the morning, and he saw that there was a young couple had brought the mother of the husband, and she was not even dying. They had come to make her die. He says she's hassled her the whole life. Hassled us the whole life. You die. Dying, she's not leaving us, Such kind of things. So painful. He experiences all these things. People coming to die. He just walks away, walks out from this room, So let me see the God. He goes there. And there are one cremation happening. It's done, move, another cremation, person body comes to die, burn. And there are again ठेकेदार्स. There are people who are agents. You have to buy only from them the wood and all that. It's very costly. So they make money out of everything. Completely. He's shocked. He said, this is life? Is this life? What have I done? And while he was there, a small child comes, there. He's maybe the Panda child, child of a Panda, So he knew Bhagavad Gita. He gives him Gnan. Small child, maybe 13 years old child, 12, 13. He said, you are not this body, your spirit soul. You don't have to worry. He said, what do you mean? I don't have to worry. He said, I'll tell you. He was flying a kite, So he said, well, I'll show you. He's flying a kite, and in that kite, there's a competition, And his kite he lost the kite, the kite flies away. He said, oh, you lost a kite. This guy said, no. What is the difficulty? This kite was never mine. I bought it. Temporarily it was with me. Now a kite is gone. Somebody else picked up. But the relationship of us is like the thread with the kite. The kite will be somebody else's. Again, fly the kite tomorrow. So there is body and the soul. The soul is inside the body, which is permanent. The body is not permanent. We should understand this. You are shocked to hear this. He gets Bhagavad Gita and starts to read Bhagavad Gita. He gets a small tulsi plant in his room, in his small dilapidated room. Start to water the plant, and whichever way he could eat, whatever he could eat, so he had money. Rich man he was, so he had carried some money. And read Bhagavad Gita slowly. That Muslim guy comes, looking for him. He says, well, how are you doing, sir? All those things, He says, well, he saw him in the ghat again. He says, you don't have to worry. Well, people come here to die, and it's a fact of life. Whether one is a Muslim or Hindu, they all die anyways. Which is true. Like this, there's 1 month passed. So now he had to vacate that place because there's a waiting list or somebody else would come to die. So he's not died, but somebody else want to die. So he told the Muslim guy, can you take me to some place where I can stay? So yeah. So he took him. He knew local areas. So there was another place where there were people there. They were also doing devotional service and doing wrestling, physical exercises and all that they were doing. And so he said, can you please request those people, make my friend stay. He's known to me. On my name, please take him, make him stay for as long as is possible. So don't worry, come. So he stayed. So he wakes up early morning with his guys. He chants some mantras, reads Bhagavad Gita. The Tulsi plant is growing nicely now. He is slowly walking, breathing. He is doing the kirtans with all these people. And what 2 months? 6 months go by. He's all right. He's okay, And he makes friends with this Muslim guy. And another 2 months, 3 months go by. He is now walking without a stick as well. He says, remove the stick. You don't require a stick anymore. Take it away. So he took the stick away. And slowly he tried to walk, and he could walk. He was walking all right on his own. He was doing all good. He went for a walk. Every day in the morning, he would go to the Ganga, pray, read Bhagavad Gita, worship Mother Tulsi, chanting Krishna's names. All this is going on in his life. Perfect way to die. And he was alive. And then he could eat. Slowly, all this difficulty which he had, colon and all, was nearly getting cured. We don't know what happened, but was it cured or not, I don't know, but he could eat. So he was eating all these things, With his Muslim guy. He said, why don't we have jalebi now? This is very famous, the sweet jalebi, He said, let's try. He says, so he would eat, and he could eat nicely. But what happened was, while having the jalebi, this guy gave him a piece of newspaper. So jalebi, we have it in India, we got a piece of newspaper. So he had the jalebi and saw the newspaper headline, and he saw his big corporate company. Nobody knew who he was. He is top guy in Mumbai. He said, its children are fighting amongst each other, and they want to sell off the company. It's going to go bankrupt. This whole organization is going to bankrupt. It's unimaginable. Such a big corporation is going to go bankrupt. He couldn't believe this. He was very puzzled now what to do. He left the life, coming to die for 2 months. 2 months he was going to die. It's been 1 year. He's much recovering now. What to do? So he shared it with his Muslim, taxi follower. He became his friend, rickshaw. The rickshaw said, don't go anywhere. So don't do this. This Varanasi has helped you. This lifestyle has helped you. Don't think. He says, no, I have to go. I have given my blood for this business. I want to set it up nicely. I'm not going to die. Don't worry. You must come to Mumbai with me. So I said, I'm not going anywhere. You're a foolish person. Don't talk to me. He said, I'll never leave Varanasi. You go. He was so upset with him. And at that point in time, he takes the train. He's all right. He could read properly, walks properly, sits in the train, come back to Mumbai. The train stops in Surat. He remembers that Surat is the Gujarati guy. Surat no Jaman, Kashi no Maran. And that restaurant is just opposite Sasuma. You must have food there. He said, why don't I have food? And then I'll go. He was a Gujarati, The Gujarati right? Food, So he tries to walk on the road. He stumbles, falls, meets with an accident with a bus passing by, and he dies. Just see. Death is for sure. Death would have come. He chose to leave Varanasi and die on the streets of Surat as nobody. If he was in Varanasi, the Muslim guy said, "You don't worry, I will do your kriya, your cremation. All is sorted for you." He had friends, he had everything over there. He would have died so nicely, remembering, and Lord Shiva would have uttered the name of Krishna in his Narayan in his ears. He didn't. This is the point. This is where we many times do not appreciate what we have got. Not only devotional service, even relationships. We want to know, we want to get what others have got. That's why Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj says, he says, don't compare and don't be sad. We always compare and we always sad. Seeing someone else's palaces, you should never burn your hut. Hut is yours. Why do you want to burn your hut? Or sitting inside the hut, you're burning it. You may not burn it, but your heart is burning. Why? He has got, I don't have. I mean, your heart you require. And when we're angry, when we are sad, the heart, the job of the heart is to pump blood. All the wrong blood, contaminated blood comes inside, and with oxygen, pure blood comes outside. You know this? You know. Swami Mataji will know. But when we are distressed, when we don't breathe properly, the pressure comes on heart heavily. You see, these are very important things in life. So along with our jobs, along with our relationships, whatever we have, we should spend some time to be good human beings for our own sake, not for others. Not for others. You see? So for that, it is very important. We should count our blessings every day, what we have got. Of course, we should aim for higher things also. If you want, no harm in aiming high. You know, there's no harm. As I said, you're very rich people, very good. Don't think we are poor. We should not be. Even if we're poor, it's by choice, you know. But please appreciate what you have, especially you youngsters, you know. When you have relationships, when you have marriage, girls and boys get married, you know, it's very important to understand that for long-lasting relationship is possible only by understanding. Love will last, physical attachment will last for some time. But this relationship is last by understanding. And all seniors will tell you, is it Anand Purohitji? Am I right in saying this? No. It is very important. In same way, understanding tolerance for loving beings is very important. Now just see, all of you come to us. You know, we're spending so much time understanding. We don't know you. We've hardly physically seen you. We've not even seen you physically. You're not seen us physically too. But this knowledge which Maharaj had given me, I was holding it. I must tell this to everybody because it helped my life, helped Maharaj's life, helped my life. So I should share. So think about this. Bhagavad Gita is that book. It is called Song of God. Bhagavad means God. Gita means song of God. So this Song of God, as the Song of God, we have to sing lovingly. In this, the authorized meters doing it. And you don't require anything else. People say, only we go to temple, then only we can do it. Of course you can go, no problem. But why? Just today, we were meeting in some, you know, it was a function here. And very, very senior devotees, you know, 40, 50 years in the movement. You know, I was talking to them. And I told them, time is finished for that. You know, society has become too big, very complicated, so many politics and all. Now time is there where the home is to be converted into a temple. Where did Prabhupada say that you must go to temple? He says he was temple president, not one but many temples. He said, you are right. You're absolutely right. He said, you must convert home into temple. And we associate with the home also. Just associate. Why not we have festival at home? Why not? It becomes very important. Very, very important. And this is the dharohar. Dharohar meaning what? In English, what is dharohar? English, what is dharohar meaning?
Legacy,
Inheritance.
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 So along with what we give for our children, we give them inheritance of gold and money, and why don't we give them along with that these samskaras? I'm telling you, do it. You'll be surprised to know. We in our home, what prasad is going to be cooked, only my wife knows. We can't even ask what are you going to cook today. We finish if we say this. Our ears will chewed, No, it's for Krishna. You can't. What do you mean? What do you want to know? So you can't think about, I'm going to be hungry, So I'll be very palatable food is going to be cooked today. So no, this is fine. And after that we talk. After it is offered, Krishna has had his meal. We take the offering, plates are washed, then let's talk. Before that, no talking. Only the cook should know. Very personal service. Similarly, chanting. As we're chanting with Krishna's name, as we chant Krishna's name, and you pray to Radharani, "Oh Radharani, please allow me to be engaged in yours and Krishna's loving devotional service." If these prayers are going with your chanting, you will experience bliss. It's an everyday process. Minimum 16 rounds. It's not 16 rounds. Minimum 16 rounds. See? And whatever you do, Arjuna was a warrior. He continued doing that. People are businessmen, no problem. They're pauper, no problem. Whichever way you are, this is how it's a formula where your whole life, you may think as you're youngsters, 20 years, 16 years, 26 years, 24 years, a lot of life is there. It's not. Youth is how many years, do you know? Anyone knows this? Youth is counted as how many years? After that, you're not called youth. Search, Google, ask Google. Ask
16 to 30.
That's right. How many years are there, 16 to 30?
16 years. Right.
Yeah, 14 years.
It's 14 years, yeah.
Right. I can tell you, many of you are nearly finishing this. After that, you won't be called youth. No matter what you do in this body, no youth. Youth is finished. Finished. Similarly, when you will turn 50, you will not know. You say, I was 30, man, yesterday. What are you talking about? And when you're 65, you say, I was 50 yesterday. You see? And then sadness comes in. This is not the way. If we are studying Bhagavad Gita and associate with the right kind of devotees, people, we are happy to be old. Devotees are happy to be old. Devotees are happy to die young. No problem. All good. Hare Krishna. You see? But the worst thing is when devotees color their hair, women are okay. Ladies are Mataji are exception. Everything is allowed for them. But for men, man, even devotees, when 60 years old, his hair are all black hair. What nonsense is this going on, man? And then he expects us to sing. He's singing white nice Ragas Kirtan, thousands of people are there. He's colored his hair. What nonsense is this going on? Or gives nice Bhagavad Katha and color his hair. My age. Man, what is this? And hundreds of people come. All of them also color their hair. Because they want this kind of people only as their gurus, as their leaders. So we have to choose. We have to choose. And I'm saying the heart, I'm young. Of course, your heart, you're always young. No yavanam. Because the soul doesn't grow old. This is Bhagavad Gita's Param Vakyas. But you are going old. The soul is not getting old, right? There's an incompatible situation. In this incompatible situation, you will always be morose and struggling. It is just like a drop of oil in water. If you see a drop of oil in the water, it'll keep moving, but the oil will always remain separate from the water. That is the position of the soul in this material world, with the body that he has got, which is material, with whom he is experiencing. He wants to be young all the time, but he's not. He's getting old. He doesn't want to. He wants to have relationships which does not fade away. They don't die, but they die. Their family members die, their near and dear ones die. They don't want them to die. Then why it should be death? These questions are intelligent questions. And one doesn't need to be Hindu, Muslim. Anyone is like this. Just because somebody is a Hindu, I don't become old. No, you become old. Muslim also becomes old. Christian also becomes old. So, moment we are out of this bodily conception of life, Brahma Bhuta Paramatma, Nasoshati Nakangshati, we're always very happy. Please. So, this is the point. Bhagavad Gita has to be understood in a very nice way. You'll be very happy. Yeah? We hope that what I spoke right now as a conclusion will give some inspiration. There is no question of moros. Always happy. Wherever a devotee is, there's always a festival because Krishna is in his heart. If you don't have any food to offer to Krishna, offer nice water to him. I can offer you only water, Krishna. Have with a lot of love. Accept it. He'll lie, he'll be happy, wait, take it, no problem. And we are Indians, so we know. We have so many examples in front of us. You give him big feast, he'll accept it. You have no money, offer him water, no problem. If you don't have water, anybody can have, but just cry, no, have your tears. There's enough for him. He'll arrange for everything. We have lost it. That's why instead of remembering Krishna, we remember all these other words when we are distressed. That's what will become. Anta kalecha mamiva, smaranatva kalivaram. We will become that. Yeah. Remember this point. So when your car is about to break, what word comes out of the mouth? That's what you'll become. When you want to do something and something becomes wrong, what word comes out of the mouth? That's what you're going to become. Warm there. You won't be. You become warm there. Right. And they are very happy living in the stool. You take out the warmth from the stool, he will go back to the stool. Inside, nicely, happily staying there. I'm telling you, it's a fact. Because that body gives pleasure there. A pig always eats stool. He lives in the gutter only. You give nice 5-star treatment to a pig, he'll go into the gutter and stay in the gutter. Which stool? 8 stool. This is how it is. Unfortunate. You see? Please, please, please. You should be very, very careful with this. And in every body, we are very comfortable. Don't be comfortable in this body. You will get out of here and never to come back. Never to come back. And once you go, your 21 generations of family members before you, 21 generations after you, all will go. They'll get liberation. Not only that, 21 generations of not only this life, even previous life which you have got, as many lives that you have got, 21 generations, all will have a chance to go for liberation. When Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj departed from this world, Maharaj waited. I was there, I can tell you. Maharaj departed at the time when even Maharaj's dependents can go back to Godhead. Chance for liberation. And whatever, with all my humility, with all my bhakti to my Guru Maharaj, I can tell you this one thing. Any one of you also feel dependent on me. His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. Maharaj will take you also, as long as you're in the line of disciplic succession. This is the power of a pure devotee. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Now, we have a birthday today. Now, where is Madhav? Madhav, are you here, Madhav? There you go, birthday boy. Hare Krishna.
Radha. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
How old are you, Madhav?
Six.
Hare Krishna, Madhavji. So how old are you, Madhavji?
6.
You are 6 years old. My God. You become big man now, big boy now. Hi, mother. But where's the cake? Your father is so rich, man. Your mother is so rich. No cake, man. What is this going on? Huh? This is not right. When we come back from our trip to Australia, we should have a party. What do you think? Should have a cake with everybody? What do you think? You want to give us cake or not, mother?
No.
You're thinking. Hey, man. What are you, man? You're a businessman or something. You want to eat cake from us? You're not giving us your cake. It's no good. Right?
You are
So
the
we should have
good.
big feast from you. You'll make cake for us?
Yes.
What you'll make cake? You will just eat. Right? Will Subhadra make cake for us? Huh, Subhadra Devi? Would you make cake for us for mother's birthday and your birthday also? Hare Krishna. Hi?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Subhadra ji. So you'll make cake for yourself, your birthday and mother's birthday as well for us?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I'll ask you, all right? Wonderful. So now we are going to sing. We are going to sing for mother's 6th birthday. All right? All right.
Yes.
All of us, please, if you can turn on your screens, be wonderful. And let us have a nice birthday song for him. One, and just unmute yourself. We always sing together, okay? Unmute yourself, all of you. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dear mother. Happy birthday to you. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna, dear Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna to you.
May
May you never be born again.
May you
May you
never
never be born again.
May you go back.
May you
Go
go
back.
back to Godhead.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna
to
to
you.
you.
Hari Bol.
Hare Bo. Hare Bo.
Hari
Hare
Bol. Madhav Prabhu ki jai. Madhav's cake ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
we'll have a party, Prabhuji, when he comes back. And then Sheetal Prabhu
Yes,
comes
now
back.
all these people are from India. So we can't just have
Yes.
party in Auckland. We must have party in India also.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And so many other places, you know.
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful. You're very, very happy.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Now, whose turn is it to sing Maharaj?
Who's
I don't remember. As usual, I forgot. I got confused.
I think it's
My-
Navina's turn.
Screen is freezing. My screen is frozen, so I can't see everybody. Whose turn is it now?
My turn, Prabhuji.
It is Navina's turn. Oh, Navina. Hare Krishna. How are you doing? All right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Very good. Very good. Is it cold out there?
No, it's really hot.
Really hot. Well, even in New Zealand, Auckland cold, you don't feel cold. So what we talk about your cold in where you are in Kolhapur, you know. It'll be nice for you, it's hot for you. They have nice ice creams. Where people will be freezing, you'll have ice cream there. You reckon?
I'm eating a lot of ice cream.
You're eating a lot of ice cream. See, I told you. Well done. Have lots of ice cream, all right? And and once you come back, we'll have cake from Mother. And sugar.
I don't know if I will bring a cake for Mata.
You're going to make the cake from Mother. What do you say?
I guess we will maybe buy it or we'll maybe make it. I don't know what's the decision.
That's all right. We're interested in eating, so no problem. Whichever way, as long as vegetarian, it's all right. Okay. Now it's your turn now to sing nicely with actions. Okay. 1, 2, 3, start.
Maharaj, please hear us.
Maharaj, please hear us.
We have learned some real good stuff.
We have learned some real good stuff.
Maharaj, we have learned one thing.
Maharaj, we have learned one thing.
And today for you we will sing.
And today for you we will sing.
If our room is clean,
If a room is clean,
then our mind is clean.
then our mind is clean.
If our mind is clean,
If our mind is clean,
we can do anything.
we can do anything.
If our room is dirty,
If a room is dirty,
then so are we.
then so are we.
And if we are dirty,
If we are dirty,
we're not happy.
we're not happy.
Wasting time
Wasting time
is the greatest crime.
is the greatest crime,
Because wasted time
because wasted time
means a wasted mind.
means a wasted mind.
So best use your time
So best is your time
when you're in your prime.
when you're in your prime,
And your whole life
and your whole life
will be sublime.
will be sublime.
If your wealth is gone,
If your wealth is gone,
then there's nothing wrong.
then there is nothing wrong.
But if your health is gone,
But if your health is gone,
that's a different song.
that's a different song.
But if your character dies,
But if your character dies,
then the world will cry.
then the world will cry.
Only saintly behavior
Only saintly behavior
that humanity tries.
let humanity thrive.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
We must always remember Krishna
We must always remember Krishna
and never forget him too.
and never forget him too.
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
That is the greatest question.
That is the greatest question.
And here is the greatest clue.
And here is the greatest clue.
You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
So listen very closely
So listen very closely
and make your thinking sharp.
and make your thinking sharp.
Let's learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
Let's learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
If something's due tomorrow,
If something's due tomorrow,
finish it today.
finish it today.
And whatever's due today,
And whatever is due today,
do it now, don't delay.
do it now, don't
Your
delay.
friends might be lazy
If your friends might be lazy
or doing bad things.
or doing bad things,
But if you think again,
but you think again,
don't follow them. them,
Don't follow them,
and you will win the end.
and you will win in the end.
Whatever work we given,
Whatever work we given,
we do our very best.
we do our very best.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
This is how to live, to work and to play. If you learn to live this way, we'll see Krishna every day.
This is how to live, to work and to play. We learn to live this way, we'll see Krishna every day.
And when the time is up, he'll take us up above. We'll sing and dance with him with the hearts full of love.
And when our time is up, he'll take us up above. We'll sing and dance with him with a heart full of love.
To chant Krishna's names, his glories and his fame is the only way this world will ever become sane.
So chant Krishna's names, his glories and his fame. This is the only way this world will ever become sane.
Now please ask this greatest question.
Now please ask this greatest question
And find its greatest clue.
and find this greatest clue.
You can only remember Krishna.
You can only remember Krishna
If Krishna remembers you.
if Krishna remembers you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai. His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande Hari
Hari Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Mahavishnu Goswami Niti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivari Pashati Destarine. So Hare Krishna, next week we will have a realizations program from all that you have learned from Hare Krishna weekend programs on Sunday and our messages on the WhatsApp group. Okay, so looking forward to hearing from you, all of you. And because all of you participate, we will have a long 3-hour program there, so everyone gets a time to speak, any Q&As with it. All right, thank you very much. So till the time we meet again, please chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna
Thank you,
Krishna. Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.